Great, thank you. So thank you everyone for your time today to learn a little bit more about Qatar Airways and Agencia. We're very happy to be here and to share the latest updates, especially for the US market as Qatar Airways is growing into North America. So I'll just give you a quick overview of why Qatar Airways. I don't know how much everyone knows about Qatar Airways, so I'll give overview of a very high level key points that you need to know about Qatar Airways. So first, very important point that we haven't stopped flying during the pandemic. We continued flying. We had a core schedule of flights operating throughout the pandemic. So we really, made the decision to keep our passengers flying because they needed to get back home, because they had emergencies. We really decided the core schedule flight was really important, as well as charters that we had across the globes with different partners, different governments to help during this crisis. So the fact that we never stopped flying is also allowing us to, get back into a regular schedule much more easily than some of the other carriers. So that's a very important point. The second one is that we have been awarded the Airline of the Year several times by Skytrax and TripAdvisor. And I'll go into a little bit more details later on. We are the first Gulf carriers to have joined the world-winning alliance One World, and this is very important, especially in the US. We have a very strong partnership with American Airlines, and I'll go into detail as well later. The fourth point is that we have a very young fleet. Our fleet is on average about 5 years old for our aircraft. Which sound, not a very important factor, but it is very important in terms of comfort, in terms of safety for your passengers, for our passengers, for your clients. Very important to have, the latest available aircraft. Qatar Airways is actually the largest operator of A350 across the world. So very important in terms of comfort and safety. And then we are working right now to rebuild our network. We have new codeshare agreement that I'll share with you. We are going back to a schedule of flights that is closer to pre-pandemic. So before COVID started, we were at 175 destinations. Now we are at 138 destinations. So we are slowly getting back into it. We also opened some new destinations, and I'll touch on that a little bit later as well. And then finally, our hub, Doha, which Hamad International Airport is our hub. All of our flights out of the US and in the world are going to Doha first. And this airport is a pretty new airport, and it has received the 5-star airport rating by Skytrax. And it is the 3rd best airport in the world. So really convenient to transit through, very new, very elegant, a ton of things to do at the airport, so I'll touch base on that as well a little later on. In terms of our awards, so we did receive many times Airline of the Year. The last one was in 2019. We actually the only airlines to have received 5 times the Airline of the Year award by Skytrax. Obviously, in 2020, it was a completely different year, and we had different challenges. So Skytrax did not award any airline, but they have came up with a rating in terms of safety. And Qatar Airways is one of the only global airlines to have received a 5-star COVID-19 airline safety rating. We have also received the airport safety rating for Hamad International Airport. And this really, highlights all of the hard work that we have put in place in terms of guidelines, procedures, processes to make sure our crew and our passengers were safe traveling with us. Obviously, on top of the Airline of the Year, in the previous years, we have received the World Best Business Class with the Q Suite, which I'll show you a little bit after, the World Best Business Class seats, and the Best Airline in the Middle East. So here's our Q Suite. As you can see, this is the seat on this image on the window side, and our Q Suite really provides the ultimate privacy in the air. especially with COVID, this is increasingly important to have some sort of private space in the aircraft. So your clients flying business class really have that whole space available for them. They do have additionally, a sliding door here on the aisle side, as you can see in the image, that you can open and close depending on how you want to interact with your crew, with other passengers. So you can completely close it at the time when you want to, privacy, sleeping, eating, whatever the case might be. You also have a do not disturb button, which if you do not want to receive any service during the flight, that's an option. We really encourage our travelers usually to interact with our crew because we are known for our hospitality on board. However, with COVID, we had to restrict and limit those interactions. So we completely understand if your passenger or if your client wants to not be disturbed, or to have a long sleep for 5 hours and do not want to be disturbed. That's what the button is for. And then obviously all seats in business class are flat seats if you want to sleep. The flight attendant, when you're ready to go to sleep, can make your bed. So they put a little mattress on your seat and give you pillows, blankets, an amenity kit, pajamas as well. We're offering to all of our customers. So that's on the window side. And so our configuration is 1-2-1 for all of our business class. So for the Q suite. So these are the seats in the middle, and they're in a quad configuration. Every passenger has still the door on the aisle where, it's a sliding door, so they can open it or close. And everything is changeable depending on the configuration of your group. So if you have a group of 4 people, a family of 4, group of 4 friends, whatever the case might be, they can interact together as 2 of the seats are facing each other, 4 of the seats are facing each other. So, however, if obviously these people do not know each other, or if you have a couple that want ultimate privacy as well, these screens, where the screens are in the middle, these partitions go and close, as well as the partitions in between each passenger. So you can have a full suite of 4 people, 2 suites of 2 people, or individual 4 suites. So it's really like whatever the case might be, we accommodate the passenger based on the needs, based on who is it traveling with. On the image here, the father and the daughter seats when they're ready to sleep converts into a double bed. So as you can see here, this is the first double bed in business class, the first and only double bed in business class. We do not have first class at Qatar Airways out of the US. We do have first class out of Doha for certain destinations, but not out of the US. But our business class is really at the level of first class for the price of business class. So really, really great value. As you can see here, a mattress has been put on the seats, pillows, blankets, amenity kits, pajamas are offered to our passengers. And this is our economy class. So our economy class also is, a premium economy class in general. We do not have a differentiation between premium economy and economy, but the economy class that we have is really comparable to premium economy on other carriers. So our seats are wider than usual. Our screen for each passengers are wider than other carriers. Everything is included in the price of an economy ticket. So we offer to the passenger, pillow, blanket, and amenity kit for each of our economy passengers as well. We offer meal options for them, snacks during the movie, a power outlet for each of the seats. And 2 luggage in economy passengers are eligible for 2 luggage, 2 check luggage in economy as well, with no additional cost. And everything is included, headphones, whatever the case might be. You're not going to pay anything on a Qatar Airways flight. Everything is included. To touch base on our safety and procedures, as COVID is still with us, almost a year after it started, unfortunately, we are still there. However, our crew is still wearing the PPE on board. So they have the mask, the goggles, the gloves, and the full PPE body protective gear. during all of our flights. This is, of course, to make sure they are safe, serving our clients, and that our customers are also safe interacting with them. During the flight and at the time of boarding, our passengers are required to wear face mask covering. We do offer a hygiene kit on top of the amenity kit. So the hygiene kit includes gloves, wipes, mask, and hand sanitizers that they can use. So that way we make sure everyone is equipped to have a great flight and to travel with confidence on board of Qatar Airways. Additionally to our regular cleaning and safety procedures that we have for our aircraft, we have started using this UV technology on board of our aircraft last summer. It has been tested multiple times, obviously, and we have implemented it into all of our flights at this time. So UV light is capable of inactivating viruses on board, and we are running this technology throughout the entire aircraft after the regular cleaning. And this also helps us minimizing the use of cleaning chemicals, which are not great, obviously, for the environment, for the air in the cabin, for our customers, for our staff. So this is a great tool and has been very efficient during this pandemic. And then just to touch base on Hamad International Airport, so all of your passengers will transit through Hamad International Airport unless they arrive in Doha and spend time in Doha, in Qatar. This airport has been made for an easy connection. It has been awarded the third best airport in the world. It's a 5-star airport. It's the first one that has received the Middle East, in the Middle East to have received the 5-star airport rating. Obviously, on top of that, we have some very stringent cleaning procedures to be applied at the airport due to COVID. So we are making sure people are social distancing. We are checking their temperature at the airport, and we are cleaning 24 hours the airport surfaces to make sure passengers are safe. Additionally, I just wanted to mention on the airport that the minimum connection time in Doha is 45 minutes, which is a very short connection time because the airport is such well designed that connections are very easy to make, and this is really really great for our passengers. So 45-minute minimum connection time. So the network update, and this is the most important today as we are rebuilding our full network in the world. For the summer schedule that will start July 1st, we are planning on expanding network to 140 destinations. So we'll have 23 destinations in Africa, 14 in the Americas, 43 in Asia Pacific, and 43 in Europe, and additionally 19 in the Middle East. Obviously, these are still, dependent on the country restrictions, entry restrictions, travel restrictions that each destination has imposed, but we are pretty confident that we will reach that number by July. Additionally, because of our ambitions to open so many destinations, and we see that people are ready to travel, especially in the US once they're vaccinated, and in the last few months, we have been offering more and more destinations, which make Qatar Airways the world's largest airline by air seat kilometers, which has never happened before. Qatar Airways is still was a pretty small airline, but with COVID happening and other airlines reducing their frequency by much more than us, we are now the world's largest airline globally. So I'll just keep on that one and go directly to the US. As I said in the invitation, Atlanta has resumed as of June 1st. So this is our latest gateway that has resumed operation in the US. So now we have a full coverage of the US. All of our gateways are up and running. And we actually have more gateways than we had prior to the pandemic. So prior to the pandemic, we had 10 gateways. Now we have 12. We have added San Francisco in December and Seattle in January. As you can see, we are pretty well covered on the West Coast with those 2 additions, and Los Angeles, which are all of them, San Francisco, Seattle, and Los Angeles are on a daily basis. And then on the East Coast, we have Boston, New York, Philadelphia, DC, Atlanta, which just resumed, and Miami, and then Houston, Dallas in Texas, Chicago in the Midwest. And to give you an idea of the frequency, so Atlanta just restarted and will be on a 4 times weekly. A very important market, Atlanta. If you are based in Atlanta right now, we are, really excited to be there again. There's a big excitement for Atlanta, and I believe it will go back to Delhi pretty soon, as soon as we have a final understanding of the schedule of June, how it performed. Boston, we will be on a 4 times weekly. Chicago and Dallas actually have more flights than before, so we're on a 10 times weekly, which is great. Houston on a daily, Los Angeles daily. Miami was also the last one resuming operation before Atlanta, so we're on a 5 times weekly now. Very exciting, as the cruise industry is restarting as well. We'll go back to a daily flight in the next couple of weeks. New York is on a double daily, Philadelphia on a 5 times weekly, San Francisco, Seattle, and DC on a daily flight. Out of Canada, we still have Montreal on a daily flight, and we have Toronto, which is operated by Air Canada. It's a codeshare, which will operate 3 times a week right now. However, Canada hopefully will lift some of this restriction, and as they lift them, we will increase frequency to Toronto. Africa is a huge market for us, especially for 2021 and 2022. We have added so many new destinations in Africa, including Accra, Abidjan, Abuja, Khartoum. All of those are new destinations for us. Actually, Cairo and Alexandria are kind of new. We used to fly there 5 years ago. We just resumed our flights this year in January. We're very excited to have Cairo. We have really great connections to Cairo through Doha. So please make sure to mention us as an option for your clients traveling to Egypt. South Africa, big markets. We have 3 destinations: Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, all of the Eastern African countries we serve, and really great destinations for safari, vacation. Seychelles is open, and we are increasing our flights into Seychelles as they lifted their entry restrictions as well. And then a lot of VFR destinations, as I say, Addis Ababa, Mogadishu, Khartoum, Djibouti, Abuja, Lagos, Abidjan, Accra. All of these are pretty heavily VFR destinations, and we are starting to fly to all of, we are flying to all of them right now. Yeah, so this gave us a good coverage of the East Coast, and then we started going into the West Coast this year. All right. Then the Indian subcontinent. So the Indian subcontinent is a little bit more challenging at this time. India is still in a very difficult situation, unfortunately. We are trying to help as much as possible with free cargo and free medical supplies that we are shipping to India at this time. Our schedule to India is on a regular basis, but India is pretty close to only citizens and residents. But we do fly to all of these destinations on the screen, but not on a daily basis. So you will have to check the GDS, as some of the restrictions sometimes allow us twice weekly, and the government of India sometimes may have to adjust our schedule. So please double check in the GDS. You'll find all the information. Bangladesh, we are flying to Bangladesh on a double daily still. Pakistan, we have 5 destinations. Pakistan now with Sialkot that we opened recently. The Maldives is actually a very popular leisure destination. It's actually our top leisure destination this year. I think they did a really good job in terms of lifting the quarantine and being a very safe destination for US travelers. Sri Lanka is open, and starting tourism, and travelers are allowed to go, and Nepal is open for VFR as well. Southeast Asia, there's still a lot of restrictions to Southeast Asia, but we are very excited to hear that Thailand and Phuket will be reopening July 1st. So we'll have 4 times weekly to Phuket. Phuket will be opening to all international travelers as of July 1st, vaccinated travelers only, and you still have to provide a PCR test. But it is a good sign to see that some of those Southeast Asia destinations are reopening. Singapore is also talking about it. So we'll keep you updated as we reopen those markets. In terms of codeshare in the US, this is very important because Qatar Airways has 12 gateways in the US. However, we do not, reach all of the cities in the US. So we have the help of American Airlines, JetBlue, and Alaska Airlines to help us map the US. And we have a codeshare agreement with them. So you'll see a QR flight, for example, from Denver or Las Vegas, where we don't operate, but it would be an American airline flight to a Qatar Airways hub. So that way we are able to reach more than 700 domestic cities in the US. And this is a very seamless, transition for our passengers to go from one of these airlines to Qatar Airways, as we have teams that are dedicated to making sure these passengers are having a seamless travel. In terms of the commercial policy, so just wanted to touch base because I just, this is a very important part of our business right now. It's offering, I believe it is the best commercial policy out there at this time. We offer so much flexibility to make sure people can book and just, free of they don't have to commit to it as much as they used to in the past. Now we allow full refund. It doesn't matter the reason of the refund or the cancellation. If the flight is canceled, obviously they get a refund, but even if they decide to not travel anymore, and if they cancel at least an hour prior to departure, then they will get a full refund. They also allow to have any changes made to their reservation, but the new dates have to be completed by May 31st, 2022, which is in a year. And you can change travel date and destination. The rebooking fee will be waived, and the fare difference might be collected if you do not have the same booking class. But I can go into more details if you have any questions. And I know Jamie also have the full commercial policy available on his website for you to take a look if needed. We also have a trade portal, which is accessible for anyone who wants more information about Qatar Airways. We have a trade desk, which you can call and email. However, for some of this information regarding, ticketing guidelines, policy, ancillary services, special services, it's much faster to get to our dedicated trade partner website. We have a search button. You can enter some keywords and you'll find the information you're looking for. Really great tool to save you some time, making sure you're up to date to all of our policies and press release news that are coming out every day. So I have the link here. I know Doug will also share everything with you after the call. And giving you just a few quick updates on June especially, and what we have done in the last 2 months. So in May, as India was in a very difficult position and still remaining in a very difficult position right now regarding COVID, we have sent 3 Qatar Airways 777 freighters to India with 300 tons of COVID aid, free of charge. We delivered personal protective equipment, oxygen canister, and other medical items. This is part of our We Care campaign and projects that we are implementing across the world. We are choosing projects and initiatives that matters to us and that we are providing the services free of charge. We also as part of WeCare, we have another project which is called the Rewild the Planet, and we have repatriated 7 lions from Ukraine, which they were in a zoo, to their natural habitats free of charge to Africa. So we are choosing some of the biggest initiatives that we want to support on a worldwide network, and we do that on a volunteering basis, free of charge. This is an information that I wanted to share with you, as you might not know it, but if your customers have in economy a layover of more than 12 hours in Doha, they are eligible for a free meal voucher to any of our restaurants in Doha. So if they have a layover of more than 12 hours, you don't need to enter any information into the booking. The customer doesn't need to do anything. It's just already embedded into their boarding pass. So it's a great addition to their booking as well. And then we have a Cairo promotion at the moment. It is public. It is on Agencia as well. The selling period will end on June 14th. Is for both economy and business class, and we have some great fare. As you can see, New York to Cairo is currently going at $573 round trip, and in economy and in business class, we have at New York to Cairo as well for $2183. Really great fares. Please make sure you enjoy this promotion. Talk to your clients. Egypt is reopening. They're having a new museum that will open in the fall. So really great things to see there. And I believe that is all for me. So let's Jimmy present on his side.
Great. Thank you, Elodie. Let me turn things over to Jimmy.
There we go. So can you guys see my screen?
We can see it.
Awesome. First and foremost, Doug, I think it's reflective of how many webinars we've done together now that you could pronounce my last name so seamlessly.
It took me a while.
Yeah. So hi, everyone. My name is Jimmy. I'm the Director of Sales over at Agencia Global. For those of you who have attended one of our webinars in the past, my format's going to be a little different today. I'm not going to walk you through every little bell and whistle of Agencia, but just take a couple of minutes to show you some of our distinguishing features, what would make using Agencia worthwhile for you. And then I'll just put my email address up on the screen. So if anybody does want more of an in-depth one-on-one webinar, we could set something up and then do that on the side, at which point you could ask me all the questions you want while we go through everything. So I've already run a search here. Since Elodie was mentioning that Atlanta reopened, I ran a quick search for Atlanta to Nairobi for 5 adults. So Elodie was alluding earlier to the fact that her commercial policy is available on Agencia. So if you notice this Qatar Airways banner, just feel free to click on it and we'll have a pop-up show up where you can find all the information she was talking about. Any details you're looking for would be right in there. And then to get rid of the pop-up, you would just click away and back you are at your results page. So very quickly and high level, first thing you'll see on the results page is the carrier matrix. So you'll see where all the airlines stand in terms of pricing, green being the lowest price of the entire matrix and blue being the lowest price of its specific row. You can filter down your search results if you want. So for example, if you want to get rid of your 2-stop itineraries and so on, once you click on apply filters, then the results down here will only be for direct or 1-stop. In this case, only 1-stop since there is no direct for Atlanta to Nairobi. When you click on view flights, you're presented with options in ascending order of price. So we've got this itinerary here at $38.92, $56.42, and so on. Your outbound flights are on the left, inbound on the right. So you would just click your inbound and your outbound. Now, if anyone's wondering why Atlanta Nairobi seems to be so expensive, this is actually the price, including taxes for 5 passengers. So your price per pax would be right over here. And we're just going to move right on to the checkout page, where I show you how you can make some extra money discreetly by using Agencia and make your life a bit easier when it comes to multiple travelers. That's why I selected 5 adults in the search criteria. So once you select the itinerary you want, it takes about 15 to 20 seconds to get you to the checkout page. Here we go. And on that checkout page, the first thing you're going to see is a recap of the itinerary you selected on the previous page. Outbound and inbound are separated in blue highlighting, and then your connecting flights are separated by green highlighting. Now, I'm not going to waste anybody's time and show you how to fill out a form with passenger info. I'm sure you can all do that. But what I wanted to show you here is the price breakdown section, where this is where things get interesting when it comes to using Agencia versus the GDS or any other consolidator's web-based booking platform. So whether it be a published fare or a net fare, we allow you to mark that ticket up. If you want to know how much you're allowed to mark up your ticket by, just hover over the question mark, and then you'll see two different markup amounts pop up. So you'll get the airline's maximum allowance. In this case, it's a published fare with Qatar Airways, so obviously they don't allow for any markup on their merchant account. And then you'll see maximum agency markup. That's what Agencia allows for. So our system default is to allow for twice the base fare. So that 2670 you saw up there is double this 1335. If ever you feel you could mark up your ticket by more than double the base fare, feel free to reach out to us. We don't really put a cap on it, so that would be completely to your discretion. So I'll just bring your attention right down here before we add a markup to it. It'll show what the charges are on the customer's credit card. So right now, since it's just the published fare, it's going on Qatar Airways merchant account, nothing on ours. And then in your agency payout, this is where you see how much you stand to make. So on this ticket here, the commission is $53.20, so about 5%. And then if you want to add yourself a markup, for example, let's say you're throwing in some VIP service, you've upgraded their hotel room, there's a limo to and from the airport, you've got sightseeing tours going on, and so on. You could add, let's say you wanted to add $200 markup per pax, 5 times 200 would be $1,000. At that point, once you enter your $1,000 markup, you'll see now that the original published fare is still on Qatar Airways merchant account. The markup, as well as a service fee of 3% for anything that goes on our merchant account, is now on our merchant account, and then you have your grand total of $49.22. Right now, I haven't shown you anything that your current consolidator doesn't already allow you to do. Anybody's going to let you place an additional markup onto their merchant account. But where things get interesting with Agencia is, what if you just want to hide that? You don't want to disclose how much additional markup you're charging. So at that point, this does come with a bit of a premium to the cost. So the $49.22 will go up a bit. But I'll draw your attention here to the pricing strategy section. So by default, lowest price is selected. What we mean by lowest price is if you want to charge $1,000 markup, the lowest price you can charge is $49.22 right over here, broken down between two merchant accounts. That said, if you were to select single charge, now instead of $49.22, the price revises itself, so about $117 more to $5,039. But the reason for that is that the entirety of the fare got pushed to our merchant account. So now you're looking at a package price of $5,039. If you want to kind of respect that $49.22 price, then maybe you have to revise that markup down to about $890, and there you go. We're at $49.25. So it's up to you whether you want to, kind of incorporate that that merchant fee into the price you were targeting and kind of take that out of your markup, or just simply charge a bit more. Now, the goal of this is basically not to divulge how much more money you're making. So for those of you who have attended previous Agencia Global webinars, you know that we're always open to receiving feedback from you, not just on the booking platform, but what could we do as a consolidator to make your life easier as a travel agent. And we had a lot of feedback over the years where agents would tell us they would shy away from making as much money as they thought they could make on a booking just because of those separate charges, which would kind of lead to phone calls after the fact of customers asking why there was a separate charge and if that was the money that the agent put directly in their pocket and so on. So feel free to use that single charge tool, and you basically have access to unlimited markup on your booking. Now, that said, I did select 5 passengers for a reason. Let's say you were booking a trip for 5 friends, or a family, a couple with 1 child, and then a couple traveling with them. And they each want to pay with their own credit cards. So this is another piece of feedback that we collected during our webinars. And a lot of agents kind of echoed the concern that, you do all this work to create a price for 5 passengers, then all of a sudden each one takes out their respective credit cards, and you're stuck booking 5 PNRs for those 5 people traveling together, which we all know is a blast once a schedule change comes in and you're stuck dealing with 5 different PNRs. So by default, single payment over here is selected, but if you want, you could click on multiple payment, and then a drop-down menu shows up, allowing you to select as many credit cards as there are passengers. So in this case here, let's say it is 5 friends traveling together. They each want to pay with their own card. If you go down here to the payment information, it's going to tell you you can't enter anything yet because you have to assign passengers to their cards. So what you do is you grab your passengers right over here, drop them into their respective card slots, and then once you do that, the payment information section here shows up so that you could have different payments. So let's say here, you've got Manly Bednar over here with card 1, you've got Jimmy over here. Let's say our buddy at Fax Doug is traveling with us. So as you're flipping through the cards, you see everybody's card, respective card information is there. So once you've entered that, click on agree to the terms and conditions and hit book and pay. You have 1 PNR for all 5 passengers. Your markup is hidden. You get 1 global charge on your customer's credit card. So in this case here, each PAX would have 1 charge of $985.17 from Agencia Global. We auto-generate invoices and itineraries for you on the confirmation page. The invoice will have your agency's info at the top, whatever information you entered when registering an account on Agencia Global, and there would be no service fees showing up on the invoice itself. As long as you select single charge, the entirety of your markup gets forced into the base fare, so they would simply see base fare, taxes, and a grand total. So that's pretty much it. I didn't want to get into the real nitty-gritty, but if anyone does like what they saw and is curious to learn a bit more, we're very confident we have one of the most user-friendly booking platforms on the market. We do have the ability to accept multiple credit cards as form of payment on 1 PNR. We allow you to hide your markup. And we do like ensuring that as much information as possible gets to our agents. So in the case of the Qatar Airways banner that we just showed you, if there is a new commercial policy, we'll find a way of making it accessible to you as you're kind of searching through the itineraries you're looking to book, rather than creating kind of a different portal for you to go find that stuff in. So my email address is, I'm just putting it up right here on the screen here, jimmy.stavropoulos@agenciaglobal.com. If any of you like what you saw and you have any questions, or you want to set up, a full 1 hour, 1-on-1, 3-on-1, whatever the case webinar, let me know, and it would be my pleasure to go through everything with you. So on that note, Doug, I shall cede the floor right back to you. And if there's any questions, it would be our pleasure to answer.
Perfect. Thank you, Jimmy. And I'm just going to leave your screen up there so people can jot that email down.
Sure.
And let me jump into this. There are some questions here. Let's see. Well, we have a couple compliments on your business class service, Elodie. So congratulations on that.
Thank you, guys.
There were a couple questions regarding cancellation policies. Let me just jump. There's quite a few different things here. Let me find that. I think the question was, the cancellation policies that you discussed, do they also apply to non-refundable fares?
Yes, it applies to every ticket that is issued before June 30, 2021. So any tickets that you issue today, tomorrow, that you issued 3 months ago until June 30th will be eligible for a full refund if the customer cancel at least 1 hour prior to departure to the flight. It doesn't matter if the fare is refundable or not. Due to COVID, we allow all tickets to be refundable.
Perfect. So assumedly, sorry, go ahead.
And no matter the reason of the cancellation.
Perfect. So assumedly, if they want to change non-refundable ticket, that can be done without penalty. There just may be a fare difference.
Exactly. In terms of the changes, if you want to change the date or the destination, the rebooking fee is waived. You can rebook, if you rebook within the same RBD, the same class of service, then the fare difference can be waived. It's a different RBD, then you have to collect the fare difference.
Perfect. Great. And then I think you may have answered this question, but I'll shoot it out to you anyway. For flights that for connections that have a lengthy layover, you had mentioned the food voucher for economy class, and business class, assumedly there's a business class lounge.
Of course, yeah. All of our business class passengers have access to our business class lounge. However, we have a new fare family breakdown. So the R class, R as Romeo class, is no longer have access to a lounge included in the price of their tickets. So they either have to buy lounge access in Doha or ahead of time on our website, or if they don't need a lounge access, they don't have to purchase one. But it's not included in our class for our passengers.
Great.
That's the only one.
Perfect. Thank you for clarifying that. There was also a question about the hygiene kits that you provide. I think you were talking about business class. When you were talking about that, they are asking if economy class passengers get that as well, which I would assume they do.
Of course, yes. We do have actually an amenity kit that is offered to both business class and economy class passengers have it. It's not the same content, but they both have it. And of course, our hygiene kit is available for all passengers, business and economy.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Great. And Jimmy, I do have a couple questions here for you. Well, actually,
Fire away.
Okay. Oh, somebody's asking what qualifications you require for an agent to book through your platform. Do they need to be an IATA agent? What are your qualifications for that, for them to register?
You have to have a PhD and a security deposit of $100,000. No, as long as you're an accredited travel agent, we're willing to bring you on board. So certification could be IATA, ARC, TIDS, CLIA, TICO, TRUE, OPC, or CPBC, depending on which jurisdiction you work in. Maybe some of those don't mean much to you, but here, what I'm going to do is just log out of Agencia and put that right up on the screen. So when you go to www.agenciaglobal.com, this is where you end up right over here. And once you click on register, right here are the options that are available.
Excellent.
Wow, and I got a first here, actually, Doug. Someone reached out to me from LinkedIn, through LinkedIn, someone attending right now, interested in a one-on-one webinar. So really cool, awesome,
Good.
Thank you.
That's great. Okay, another question for you, Jimmy. Do you offer after-hour or 24-hour service?
No, so our hours of operation, because obviously the pandemic took a hit on all of us, right?
Sure, of course.
So here, let me just log in and I'll show you guys exactly. Actually, it's right on here. I didn't even have to log in. But how to reach us would be right over here. So these are hours of operation. And if you want to reach us, it's contact@agenciaglobal.com or 1-844-544-FAIR. We did at one point offer 24/7 service, but given the reality of the industry, we did have to make some adjustments. So perhaps again in the future, but for now, those are the hours of operation for service.
Fair enough. Okay, Elodie, for you, one of their agents is asking if Qatar offers agent rates and how do they apply for those, if so?
We don't really have agent rates. We do have AD tickets though. We do offer agents AD tickets. It depends on your IATA. So we need to have an IATA number to be eligible for AD tickets, but we do have discounts as AD50 and AD75 for agents and partners. So if you do want any of these tickets, feel free to reach out to me. I don't have my email up, but I'm guessing Duke, you can also share it with the panel, with the attendees once you send the recording,
Sure.
Or you can reach out to Jimmy, and Jimmy can also get to me. Since you're going through Agencia being our partner, we can go that way as well if Jimmy doesn't mind.
Nope.
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's great. It looks like, I think there's a lot more compliments about business class and about the food on Qatar. Those aren't questions, those are just statements.
We like them too.
Oh, absolutely. Great. Well, I think that is going to do it. Doesn't look like we have any more questions coming in. Jimmy, Elodie, if you have any last comments, please feel free to shout them out.
No, thank you everyone for learning a little bit more about Qatar Airways. I hope you learned something new on our side. We're very excited to have such a strong presence in the US. So we count on your support to be all together for the recovery and the rest of the year being looking a little bit better than 2020. So really excited for this new year and partnering with all of you guys moving forward. So if you have any questions regarding Qatar Airways, feel free to reach me. I will include my email address in the follow-up email.
And I too want to thank everyone for taking the time to attend. And actually, given the opportunity to mention something I forgot, we do have a new agent promotion specific to Qatar Airways. So anybody listening in on the call, if you like what you saw with Agencia and you want to set up an account, please email me. I am going to put that right back up. Once you've registered, we're offering $10 per Qatar Airways ticket sold in the month of June. So between the day you register and June 30th, all Qatar Airways tickets will qualify.
Excellent. That sounds like a great deal. Okay.
Great news.
Absolutely. Well, I will echo their thanks for attending today's training session. We do appreciate the time. Please stay tuned for future sessions. As we said, this is recorded. We'll send you a copy of that recording. It can also be found on our website, jaxfax.com, underneath Travel Advisor Training. And with that, we will wrap up today's session. Thank you all for attending. Have a great afternoon, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.